Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at one of the mini PNSO figures, the Tianyulong. This is actually my first mini figure from PNSO. They mainly produce large, high quality dinosaur models, and their mini line is actually pretty extensive. If you notice on the packaging right here, this Tianyulong is number 35. There are actually 48 minifigures currently available. They are all available separately. I got this guy off Amazon for $7.99. Everything Dinosaur has them too for roughly about the same price. I'll leave a link in the description as always to both those sites if you're interested in them. And if you want to get all 48 at once, there is actually a gift set with all the figures in it on Amazon for $200. So if you want to go crazy and get them all at once, I highly suggest you doing that. Like I said, there's 48 of them to pick from, and I definitely wanted to get my hands on one, and the Tianyulong stood out the most for me. So before we rip this guy, its packaging, let's take a closer look at it before I destroy it. So you got your little minifigure in this clamshell style packaging, and the background on the back of the packaging looks like a dark cave. You got what number it is in the set, and the back of it is in Chinese, which I can't read. And as always with PNSO, they always like to give their dinosaurs a cute little name, and this one is Xiaoyu. Right, I think I said it right. You don't know how many takes it took me to say Tianyulong before I started filming this. So, all right, so now that we got the packaging out of the way, let's crack this guy open. And here is the Tianyulong the packaging. And for such a small figure, it has a lot of detail in it. But I just want to go over what came inside the packaging. The card that came in, it unfolds into a little mini poster, and it gives you a nice picture of what the Tianyulong looked like in real life. So, very cool to get it. It was a pain to get this guy out of the packaging because it is that clamshell style packaging. So I don't know if the box set comes with all 48 figures in their clamshell, and man, that is going to be a lot of work if that's the way they come. So a couple quick facts about Tianyulong before we pull this figure closer. It was discovered in China in 2010. It's from the late Jurassic period. It is actually a species of Heterodontosaurus, and Heterodontosaurs are known for having these large canine teeth, and they were herbivores, and they, up until this point, they were mainly found in Africa, and I think one species was found, I think, in North America. So this is the first species of Heterodontosaurs from Asia. So let's get out the old tape measure here and to see how big this figure is. So the tail does stick almost straight up on this thing, so it definitely a unique looking pose. So from tip of the nose to the base, it is just over 2 inches long, and to the top of that tall tail, it is about 3.5 inches tall. Tianyulong was not a big dinosaur. The holotype is actually from a subadult, and that animal was just over 2 feet long. So an adult was probably somewhere over 3 feet in length. The cool thing about the fossil of Tianyulong, when it was fossilized, it left impressions of this filamentous sail down its back, and these structures are pretty much almost like proto-feathers. And they started at the base of the neck and went all the way to the tip of the tail, and this little model beautifully captures that. And let's take a little closer look at that head, and now you can see those canines that Heterodontosaurs are known for. It had a very large eye, which may suggest it was nocturnal, which is probably why it came with that little picture of the cave in its packaging. And you can see it's finely sculpted all over its body with those fibers. And this is a really, really charming little figure. This one, when I was looking through the whole 48 minifigures, this one always kept jumping out at me, so that's why I decided to grab this guy. So those structures along the back of the neck and tail are primary yellow with a little bit of a black wash over them. The rest of the body is a nice bright bluish green at the head, and it goes to a lighter green and starts mixing with yellow. The claws on the hand are not painted, but this is a very tiny model, so it'll probably be pretty hard to pull that off. And it comes with a very nicely detailed base. A nice detail of the rocks, a nice black wash, dry brushing over the rocks to bring out that extra detail. This is a very, very cool figure. You got a nice little plumage at the end of the tail that is done in black. And actually on the other side, let me see. Yeah, it's black on this side, and then it is that bluish green on this side. You got a nice little white stripe going along the body onto the tail, and another black stripe start from behind the eye and continue about midway on the tail. So yeah, this is a really, really cool figure. I actually really, really dig this thing. So let's pull out some of I have no other Heterodontosaurus figures to compare this to. I know normally when I do my comparisons, I try to get, you know, the same figures from other companies to compare them, but this is such a bizarre species of dinosaur that I don't have a similar species to compare it to. So I'm going to take out some of other PNSO's other models and just put them together for a size comparison. Alright, let's get some other PNSO figures out here for comparison. And first up is one of their newer figures. This is their Amargasaurus, which is one of excellent Amargasaurus figure. As you can see how small the minifigure is compared to this, and he is going to look a lot smaller as we move on. So let me just get Lucio out of here. And next up is, hold on, just going to set this up. It'll help if I have the base facing the right way. And here it is with SEN. The Spinosaurus. This is one of their newest figures to come out, and this is a big figure. And if you want to check out the reviews on some of the PNSO models, I'll leave the little title cards at the end of the video, so if you want to check out some of the PNSO stuff, those will be there for you. And let's get him out. It's very hard to do these comparisons with PNSO because their models, most of the models are so big, and it's just so hard to juggle these around my little studio here. And here it is with one of their large vinyl models. This is their Chunkingosaurus, which is one of their first big dinosaur models that came out. They had a bunch come out, you know, a few years ago, and everyone just like went crazy for this company, and for good reason. And just one more comparison, and this is a big boy that's coming in. Here it is with Big Nick, another one of their newer large vinyl figures. And oh my god, I don't think I could get the head with this Tianyulong in, so I'm gonna just adjust my camera for a second. Alright, and just hold the figure up just to show you how small and how big Nick is. So that'll do it for comparisons. Oof, that was a lot of work. So final thoughts on this figure. I think this Tianyulong is a fantastic figure. It's such a bizarre looking dinosaur species, and obviously this is like the only figure of it. The PNSO minifigures mainly consist of a lot of obscure species, a lot of Chinese species. There's some common ones in there. I think they have a Spinosaurus and a couple other more common dinosaurs. So yeah, I highly recommend you picking this figure up. It's really well detailed for the size of the figure. It's really bizarre looking, and it is definitely a really cool figure. And like I said earlier, I picked mine up off Amazon. I had free shipping because I had Prime. It was $7.99. They're roughly about the same price on Everything Dinosaur, so I'll leave those links in the description if you're interested in ordering them. And as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.